All right, I'm gonna tell you a story about the time where I knew I was gonna marry my then girlfriend, who is now my wife. So, my brother, this was an 11-year-old story. So I was 19 at the time, 30 now. But my brother, he was a youngster. He was really into baseball. We were at a travel ball tournament with my family. I was still living with my parents. We were at a travel ball tournament in Las Vegas, and we live in California. So we drove out there, and I had to fly back on the Friday to go to work because I was working at the church, and that was Easter weekend, and I couldn't miss it. So I flew back on my own, and my family drove back that weekend. I had to be there on Saturday because, it was like I worked at the mega church, and, we had like 50,000 services, and I had to fly back. So I remember it was the Friday afternoon. I was going to fly back that night, and I had a spicy chicken quesadilla from Del Taco. It's like a Mexican fast food chain restaurant. And I remember it tasted metallic or something. There's something suspect about it, and you'll find out later that it was not just suspect, but it was guilty as charged. Anyways, I remember getting my quesadilla, doing the thing. I think I caught the last game of the day, yada yada yada. And my dad drove me to the airport. Went to McCarran Airport, and I remember as we were pulling up into the terminal, the drop-off area. I remember I just kind of puked a little bit in my mouth. I was like, oh Lord, that's weird, but whatever. I think I'm fine. Get through TSA, sitting in the terminal. Wasn't old enough to gamble yet, so I was looking at the slot machines in the airport terminal, like, wow, this is so cool, yada yada yada. And then all of a sudden it hit me, and it hit me hard, and my stomach just started killing me. I was dying. I was like, what the heck, this is not good. And I went to the little, stop and shop, spent like $15 to $20 on a pack of Tums, and got a Perrier. And I was like, okay, hopefully this can get me through. So I downed the Tums, and I was just sitting there. I remember I had a Men's Health magazine, and I was just sweating in the terminal. I thought, am I going to miss my freaking flight? Like, am I going to die? And I was like, dear God, dear God. So I was sitting there, cold sweats, sat in the bathroom for 20 minutes, did my thing, wasn't puking quite yet. And then boarded the plane. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. So got on the plane, and I was just dying. Thank God it was a half-empty plane. So I was in like the second to last row in the back, and no one was around me, and I just sat there, and I was just white knuckling it on this whole flight, feeling like, okay, I do have food poisoning. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I'm sitting there. I'm trying to bear through it, grit and bear it. And I remember I had these in-ear monitors that I had gotten, and I was really excited to use them. It's for like musicians. I got custom molds of my ears done. And when you play on stage, you have to hear yourself. So these things are just like these custom mold, super high quality audio. I pop them in my ears. We're like on the descent. I'm like, thank God, I think I'm gonna make it. I pop these things in my ears, and the sound quality was so superb. It was so terrific that I grabbed that freaking barf bag, and I swear, man, it was like a fire hose. Just opened up the hatch, and I just filled this freaking bag. And as I was puking in this bag, it was like one stream too. It wasn't just like it was just like and while I was doing that, I was grabbing the other bag next to me, because I thought, I'm gonna have to puke swap this thing. I'm gonna fill up this bag. I'm gonna have to puke swap. So I didn't have to puke swap, but I filled up the whole freaking bag. It was like, this big, like that. Filled that puppy up. The flight attendants took great care of me. I think they called me sweetie, They were great. So I got off the plane, walked through the terminal. When we landed, I was feeling okay, and my girlfriend was going to pick me up and take me home. And I get in the car, and she's like messing with me, and I was just like, dude, like, no, F no, like I'm dying here. And I grabbed a plastic bag, and I was puking all the way home, and I'm just in agony. So she takes me to my house, no one's there, and I'm like a good little Christian boy, so I'm like, is this okay that she's here? But I'm like, whatever, like, I'm dying here. There's no funny business going on. I tell my parents what's going on. She calls them. She's making me all these concoctions of, like, you know, lemon and apple cider vinegar, tea, crap like that. And I think it did not help. I think it actually made things worse because I just kept on, like, puking. I was sucking down Pepto-Bismol like it was nobody's business. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 19 years old. And then I spent the rest of the night with the trash can in front of my face and my butt on the toilet, and I was just exploding both ways. It was horrible, and it was so bad that I started, like, kind of crying, like, because I was puking so much that I didn't have anything in me. I felt like I was just puking out, like, my actual insides, and I was just absolutely in pure agony. One of the worst days and nights of my life. No sleep. She started crying. She felt so bad for me. She started crying. And I remember just sitting there, and I was just, like, completely just like turned inside out. And I was like, I'm going to marry you, man. Like, I think this is it. I think I kind of knew this already. Like, I feel like we kind of knew it, like, basically once we, like, met and started dating, which was like a few years earlier. We were high school sweethearts. Met in first period math class. And I think, like, we knew that we loved each other and we were meant to be for each other, but I just told her, I was like, dude, I'm gonna marry you. So she stayed the night. I had to ask my parents if she could stay the night. You know, that's how much of a good little boy I was. And they're like, yeah, we don't suspect anything's going on. I just, like, you know, almost pooped my pants in front of her. So the morning came, and she left, and you know, yada yada yada. And I just kind of tried to recover, called my boss, and ended up doing it. Ended up going and singing and doing all this stuff for church, and everyone was like, dude, you were literally green. Like, your face was, like, legitimately green. Like, I was not okay. Even, it wasn't just like a one night bug, it was like an extended thing, but I got through Easter and all that. But I remember that morning I was home alone, and sitting on the couch, and just pooped my pants. So there's that. Poop my pants. So that is the moment, or the story of how I knew I was going to marry my then girlfriend, which came to fruition. So that's my life. Anyways, you tell me, you have any stories like that? Leave it in the comments. You can call the voicemail hotline, and I will listen to your story and respond on a future video. The number is 619-800-5622. Did you poop your pants on Easter weekend like I did? But leave me a voicemail. Tell me your thoughts. You can respond to this story. Tell me you love it, hate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. Have a great day. And try to stay human. Try to keep a sense of humor. All right. Peace.